Today is the 20th of November 2023, and I'd like us to look at some possible questions. That will be our first video. Thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos. I appreciate it a lot. And you please consider subscribing, following, sharing and liking these videos, and putting nice comments for us if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. And if the account is not yours, again, ask permission from the account holder, or ask somebody to help you, somebody you trust, to help you open your own account. Okay? I normally write, please follow my notes/scripts. Okay? At times it's difficult because, for instance, this is -14. So if you hear 14, please go by the script. Okay? Now, beware of scammers. It's very important. If you've not heard it from me or from the video, then it's not coming from me or anyone I know. Especially if it is somebody sending your account to donate to orphanage, and they are scammers. So please beware. Recap. We did some more application of Pythagoras problems with real life situations. Okay, so we did that. We've done like 5 videos on Pythagoras theorem. We saw different ways where you could be asked questions using Pythagoras theorem, which says c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Please, if you don't understand, watch from the first video. Okay? Sometimes you have to do a sketch to understand how to apply it. Okay? Sometimes if you look at the question on face value, you might not even know what to apply. Okay, but immediately you do a sketch, you can look at it and say that, oh, I can use Pythagoras here. Okay, so at times it gets good to do a small sketch on your answer paper, and it might help you, give you clues on how to answer that question. Now, watch the video for recap. Okay, today I'll start. Okay, so assuming a equals -7, to find 2a, it will be 2 times -7. We've done integers. Okay, so I assume by now you should be confident with working with negative and positive whole numbers. So 2 times -7 is -14. Now, what about 2a squared? Okay, -7a squared will become positive. So a squared, which is -7 squared, will be 49. 2 times 49 will give you 98 if you do it correctly on the calculator. Now, what about 2a squared minus a? Okay, so we've done 2a squared, which is 98, minus, and then your a here is minus 7. So you have 98 minus a. So you have 98 minus 7, which is 98 plus 7, which is 105. Okay. Now 2a squared plus a. We found 2a squared here, which is 98, plus a. A is minus 7. So here plus minus 7. So 98 minus 7 will give you 91. Okay. The starter is just something to remind you of what you already know. Okay. Now today, as I said, I'm mindful of the people who are writing their exam next year, and we've done a lot of topics, we've done a lot of videos. Okay, and so if you're in year 9, just watch the videos. You can also watch the question so that you be ahead in your class. Okay, but for the sake of those who are writing exam next year, I will start bringing in questions, and then if there are topics that I need to go and do videos on, I'll do videos on them. Okay, now today we start looking at some possible questions. Okay, so this will be our first. Okay, now on the graph, rotate shape Q by 90 degrees clockwise about the point S. So I've brought the graph here. Here is my graph. Okay, so this is my shape, and I've been asked to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Clockwise, if you have a clock at home and it's on the wall, look at it carefully. Clockwise is that way. We saw that in bearing. But in rotation, you can have clockwise and you can have anti-clockwise. Okay, here we've not been given any coordinates. Okay, I've done videos on this. Go back and watch transformation. I think we have about 5 videos on that. And then you have a rectangle here, no coordinates. It's just on a graph paper, and you've been asked to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise about this point S. Okay, as I explained, they could ask you to explain it about the origin, but they haven't given you that. They've just given you a point and a shape. This is a good place to use a tracing paper. You can just put up your hand and ask for one, and they will give you one. Okay, or you can use your protractor. Okay, the last time I did this video, I didn't have a tracing paper, so I used it. So all you need to do, put the tracing paper on the shape. Okay, try and connect the nearest point to that. 2-3 dots on the tracing paper, and then when you rotate at 90 degrees with the use of your protractor, to give you 3 this shape. Okay. Another thing is you can have this point, and then when you rotate it, okay, this point becomes that point. That point becomes that point. This is where you should follow my notes. And this point here becomes this point. So now look at it. You've rotated the shape 90 degrees clockwise. Okay. It can be a rhombus, it can be a square, it can be a rectangle. This is how you solve it. Okay. It can be a triangle, as we have seen here. So this point becomes that point here. That point about this point becomes this point here. Because if you rotate and you draw a straight line here, that will be your 90 degrees. And then this point, if you join this, okay, that will be your 90 degrees. So you've done the question. Okay, now, so we'll put that on this side. Okay, so you might need a protractor or a tracing paper. That is a good place to follow my notes/scripts. Okay, I didn't use a tracing paper, I used a protractor measured 90 degrees, as I have just shown you. Okay, now example 2. These are possible questions you might get on your distance. So, for the sake of the people writing their exam next year, I think we've done a lot of videos with examples. Okay, so if you're in year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, you still have a year or 2 to write those exams. So you can just keep on watching the videos and going to class and helping you. If you are doing a resit next year, or you are in year 11, or you are considering going back into education, okay, and you are at home, then you can watch the videos we've already done and then look at the possible questions, because if you understand the question, it doesn't matter what is thrown at you, you should be able to do it very well. Now, 200 people were asked about their hobbies, okay? And then we have men, women, and total, okay? Now, they were asked about their hobbies, and then some said swimming, some said hunting, some said they didn't have any hobbies. Maybe they did have, but because of a lot of commitments, they don't have any hobbies now. Okay, so between they had men who maybe like swimming, men and women like swimming, some like hunting, but some said, well, they don't really have. They might have, but it's because that they don't do it. Okay. Now they have men here, and then these ones that I have circled, okay, are the ones who were not given, and the ones in blue are the ones when in green, the ones I have found. Okay, but the others were given. Okay, so I have 120 men on the table and 80 women. In total, I have 200. Now, I wasn't given 48, so I circled it. I wasn't given 36, so I circled it. I wasn't given the ones in green and blue. I found that out. Okay. The total number of hunting is the same as the total number with no hobbies. So if you look at the total number of hunting here, it says it's 58. That is the first part. It's the same as the total number of no hobbies. So straight away, I've got these two columns. Okay. Now, with this knowledge and with the other figures I've given, I'm going to complete the table. Okay. So now, I'm going to complete the table. So 200, I have 58 and 58. Okay. And then 84. Okay. So, I know that 58, if I take 200 from 84, I'll be left with 116. If I divide by 2, I have 58 and 58. Okay, so I found this one. That's why they're in blue. If you add these three numbers, you should get your 200. Now, immediately I found that I can find this green part because this is 58 and I know the number of men who like hunting. So if I subtract 58 from 18, I have 40. That is the amount of women who will hunt. Okay. Then I fill this column. I fill the whole of this column. Okay. Now I have, let's go step by step. So now I know the women who like hunting. Okay, that's 40. Okay, I've shown you how to do that. Now, women with no hobbies. Okay, so now I have women no hobbies 36. So I have 80 minus the 40 I found minus the 36, okay, which will give me 4. So I have 58 minus 80, which is 40, which is women which is 40, which is women who don't hunt, okay? And then what about men with no hobbies? Okay, this is the men column. We have 120 men. Now 48 of them will swim, 18 of them hunt. So we take it away from 120 and we have 54. So I have 120 minus 48 minus 18, which will be 54. So we have 54 men out of the 200 men with no hobbies. Okay, so I'll put 54 here. So in all, I've completed the table. Now, if I add 48, 18, and 54, I should get 120. I've checked. If I add 36, 40, and 4, I should get 80 women. And then if I add 84, 58, and 58, I should get 200. That way. Now, that way also, if I add 48, 36, and 8, I should get 84. 18, 40, I should get 58. 54, 4, I should get 58. So I've completed the table. And then I can get whatever marks they are offering. Okay. Now, let's look at another. One of the starters, I talked about surveys, population, census. Okay, if you don't understand these terms, you can ask Siri or you can go back and watch the videos. Okay. Now, we have 120 men and 80 men as we just saw in the table. Which is greater? The percentage of men who swim or the percentage of women who swim? So we come back to the table again. The percentage of men, it could be hunting, it could be no hobbies. So you just go by the table and use the figures they've given you here. Okay. Now the percentage of men who swim is 48. And then we have 120 men times 100. Okay. Also, the percentage of women swimmers here is 36. And we have 80 women times 100. That is, if I want to find the percentage. Okay. They said, which is greater? Okay. So here, 48 times 100 is 4,800 divided by 1,120. That will be 40% for men. Now, as we go through this, I would like you to consider how I solve the question and how I arrange my questions. Okay, because if you do arrange your question like that, then it's easier for the marker. So you wouldn't be losing, he or she will be able to just look and mark it, because if I arrange the things properly, okay, your answers in an orderly manner. Now, the percentage of women, we have 36 women there, divided who swim, or in a total of 80 women times 100. That is if I'm doing percentage. Now, if you do both of them right on your calculator, you have 40% for men and 45% for women. Okay. Now, assuming, so you now realize that 45% women is greater. This is the greater than sign. 40% men. So the answer will be 45% of women is greater. Assuming they didn't say percentage, then you're at liberty to leave your answer in decimals. So 45% of women will be 0.45 women. Okay, that is if you want to leave your answer in decimal and they have not restricted you to leaving your answer as percentage. And then for the men, it will be 0.4 men. And as you can see, it's greater for women than for men. That is if you want to leave your answer as decimals. If you want to leave your answer as fractions, Then 45 over 100. Okay, 5 can go through them. You have 9 over 20 for women. 40 over 100. You have 8 divided by 20 for men. You could have left this as 10, but if you do that, because the denominators are different, you wouldn't know. So 9 is greater than 8. So you know that 9 over 20 is greater than 8 over 20. We have videos on this where we are arranging decimals, fractions. So if you want to leave your answer as fraction, assuming you're not restricted again, then you can go for this answer. But in all the 3 instances, okay, you can see that it's greater for women than for men. Okay, so from now on, if there's something I need to come and talk about, I'll just do a video on that. But if not, for the sake of people who are writing their exam next year, we just come and look at as many questions as time will allow us. Okay, so that they can also start gaining the confidence and looking at these questions, so that in case they have similar questions, they can do it. Okay, thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next.